What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the second edition of 2024. Kevin, this is a big one. I don't know if you noticed it. I need to happy 20th episode, my friend.
Happy number 20.
You're listening to the 20th episode. This is the Feed Your Fat Face podcast. I'm Aaron. It's my buddy Kevin, and we're here to talk about food. And I'll just lead off by asking, man, when we started this thing out, what was the over-under if you thought people would still be listening at the 20 episode mark?
I would have said under.
You just said, yeah.
I would have said under.
Yeah, so I don't know. Thank you guys for tuning in and listening, or if you're watching on YouTube, thank you for watching the YouTube channel.
Humbled.
It really does mean a lot to us. Yeah, thanks. We would say if you have the ability, maybe let some other people know.
Yeah, spread the word. Inflict this on someone else.
But enough about us. Let's talk about food, shall we?
Well, here in Texas, this is, the 16th of January?
That's correct.
So we're at the end of a 48-hour cold snap.
Yeah, I think we have one more night to go. And I'm going to say the last 3 nights have been legitimately cold. We got into the low teens. It was 15 this morning at my house.
And the real feels have been single digits.
Yeah, so it's been legit cold, but it has been.
But we got no precipitation, no rain, no nothing.
We got precipitation out here.
Well, that happens out
here and in Bernie, but San Antonio didn't get.
Yeah, San Antonio proper didn't get any of the ice, any of the stuff.
How'd you guys hold up? Did you make it?
Yeah, we did fine.
Did you eat anything? Do you have like?
We did hot food, but we did like spicy food. We did some tacos and we did some Mexican food, spicy guac.
Keep it fresh. It's good when you're all in the house stuck together to fire off some Mexican food.
Absolutely.
So we talked about the broccoli and egg diet last time.
My mom was visiting, so we
even better. Let Dana get in on the action.
Absolutely. Yep. But yeah, we did some that kind of hot food. We didn't do like the chilies and
we settled into some soups and
what soups did you go with?
I'm a big tortilla soup fan, and then my wife made a chicken soup that I'm not sure what I was in. It was creamy. It was good.
Okay, yeah. In the cold, my number one soup is French onion. Like it's my favorite soup. It's
interesting. I love French onion soup. I'm not here to say I don't, but I will say I'm typically a cream based soup guy.
Okay.
Did you go into the HEBs at all during the
bro? What's
wrong with you, Texas? It was
okay. Did this start with COVID?
Well, so I definitely don't remember it. I don't remember food hoarding when we were kids.
No, not. I don't remember any of this like panic buying.
We went, and you have to understand the way it works. If you're not from here, let me give you the run of events. Friday night was 70 degrees.
Yes.
Saturday, it's in the mid 50s. I went up to New Braunfels, watched the football game, watched the Texans play with my brother. At the end, we had to pick up some snacks to take to church with us. I said, I'll just swing into the HEB, pick up some donuts.
Right.
So I walk into the HEB, and the bakery is right there in front of the door.
Yep.
Dude, bakery cleaned out. No
cookies?
Bagels. There was like not cookies that they'd made there. There was a couple of packs of like cooked cookies. No donuts, no bagels, none of the fresh breads, none of the bolillos, none of the things that the case was empty. The whole bakery side was empty, and I'm like, it's not even. It's 60 degrees outside, 55 degrees outside.
Did you then go through the rest of the store, or did you just kind of leave it
because it
at
was
that?
really crowded, like lines down the aisle, and I was like, yeah, I'm not.
Yeah, I don't want to play.
I guess I want to know. Now, one thing that's important, and maybe we should have had somebody else join us on this, because and you and Brittany would probably say to a fault, like, I'm not a worrier or a conspiracy theory guy.
Oh, yeah, to a fault, definitely.
So I don't get it.
You don't worry enough at times.
Right. So it just never crossed my mind that let me go stock up on things that everybody might want.
What do you remember COVID, obviously?
Vaguely.
But everywhere, but especially the big, what do they call them? The warehouse club stores, the Sam's and Costco. Absolutely insane.
I remember the first time I actually took video. I should try to find it. If I do, I'll post it. I remember the first time I went to HEB during COVID. Remember early on, you're limiting and only so many people in the store, and so the store was like my job. That was what for the house. So I went into the store, and I just took a video. It was like meat cases empty, pasta aisle empty.
But what was full?
Yeah, dude, I feel really bad. Like all of the vegan products,
all the Beyond.
Yeah, meat. People are like, nah, man, it's not that bad.
They're like, No, we need real protein.
Yeah, we'll probably just wait it out. That was really funny the entire time. I'm like, man, you can't get any chicken thighs, but I can get you some tofu.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sure can.
So anyway.
Not even vegans. Vegans were buying the chicken thighs.
I think probably, right?
They're like, yeah, we need to toughen up a little bit for this season.
Maybe wrap it in some bacon. We're going to come off the wagon. Let's go hard. Let's go hard.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't remember this as a kid.
Yeah, I don't either. So what do you think, like what literally, I'm wondering what drives it? If you got ideas, drop us comments. I'd be curious to know. But
I mean,
it's got to be just fear, right?
It has to be. It really, I mean, and it was even, they said, yeah, it's going to freeze, and they thought that we would have more ice, so it would be harder to drive around. Power might go out if we got some ice, but that never happened.
But if the power goes out, all that food you bought has been rendered worthless anyway.
Well, and at the same time, I mean, it's going to be 3 days.
Right. Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, it's going to be 65 or 70 on Thursday.
Yeah, 70 degrees.
Yeah, so I also wonder, okay, this is the one place where I'm not a conspiracy theory guy. I do often lament the state of our culture and our morality. So I'll ask this, like, I distinctly remember having conversations, not about like the store, though not necessarily not about the store, but I remember it was just ingrained in us as kids, don't take more than you need. Like if we were at the store and I'd be like, my mom would just be like, we don't need that much. Like other people will need it, right? You and I grew up in the era of you better finish your dinner because starving kids in Africa.
Right.
Which
We're
I was always like, by the way,
plate.
I'm always like, send it to them. Like, because what you're saying in that moment is there are kids all over the world who are dying without food tonight. So you better finish all this food you hate.
Yeah. Yeah.
The logic breaks down when you really extrapolate it, doesn't it?
Well, the logic broke down just in the moment, even as a dumb.
Anyway, I'm working against myself right now, but it was ingrained in us.
Do I look like I ever didn't finish a meal?
No. It was ingrained in us, right? Like, just don't take more than you need. And I'm wondering, so much of what happens in our culture from, I rip on social media a lot, but from social media to just the way our world is structured, it's me at the center of it, right? So the person, the individual is the most important thing. So is there a degree to which people are just like, I'm not thinking beyond my family. I don't care if you need it. You should have beaten me to the store.
You know what? That's probably a big part of it. And I think that the way that social media feeds into it is when you start seeing on your feed.
Oh, right. 100%.
That it's happening.
It's a snowball.
Then it's game over.
Yeah. Which maybe panic buying was a thing when we were kids. We didn't have Instagram. We didn't know it.
That's probably
people dropping off Polaroids. Look what happened to the store today.
You know what? I heard a joke, but think about this. If 20 years ago you went on a date and the person you went on a date with showed you their photo album and it looked like their Instagram, like, here's my face, here's my face, here's my face,
or
here's my
pulled
cat,
out a 35 millimeter to take a picture of their dinner plate, you'd have been like, this person's a nut job.
Yeah, something's wrong. Here's my cat, here's my lunch, here's my cat.
Parenthetically, we're all nut jobs.
Yes. Oh, absolutely.
It's important to just acknowledge that.
Yeah. I mean, I've got a ticket on the bus too.
Well, hey, I want to say, let's talk a little bit about this 20th episode thing.
20 episodes.
20 episodes.
2 seasons, 20 episodes.
It's a lot of fun, man. I'm having a good time. Do you have when you look back on it, do you have a favorite moment? Is there something that stands out to you that you're like?
Well, yes, I'm going to bring one up. And
I wonder if it's the same.
We didn't prep this one, so let's see. My favorite is, this is technically 20, but also not technically 20.
Did you go? I was going to ask if you went back and listened, but I know what you're about to say. You're about to reference what I think would be episode 17.
Wings.
Yeah. Gosh, that was a little point. Man, that that was a bad. So
we sat and talked with Carson for an hour.
Yeah, so the last episode before the break, which would have been, this is 2019, would have been episode 18. Would have been that one. We set up a table out in the garage. Yep. It was a beautiful night, and we had everything set up, and we sat down, and I hit record on the mixing board. This is actually the impetus to why we have changed all of our recording equipment.
Yeah.
But we sat down with my son for over an hour, and we talked wings. My kid is a wings aficionado, and I'm gonna say, not just because he's my dad, like legitimately, he was really good. Like he had good insight, and we had good rapport.
Yeah, it was a great Great session.
And so we get done, and the way this board works before is you would record to a memory card, and then I would pull the memory card out and take it and edit down the episode. Now we just record straight up. We get done, and I mute everything, and I'm like, guys, that was so killer. I'm going to record it, and I'll get it. And I go, I had not put the memory card in the – it's in there now.
Right there.
Yeah, here it is. It's there now, but it wasn't there then. And I was so mortified. We just sat there for, oh, man, I was brokenhearted.
It was still a great time.
It was a great time. I think my favorite moment was probably the unexpected. And I thought about loading a clip from it, and I just didn't have time today. But the unexpected just lashing I took over my brisket
barbecue.
take.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've had some, maybe my saying it, though, turned the tide, because I've had some really good brisket since then.
Well, I mean, you went up to
Did go to Franklin's.
You went to Franklin, so that doesn't count as
My father-in-law made me another brisket. That one's a solid one.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was that was a highlight, because I didn't even expect it to be that controversial. I genuinely thought other people would be like, yeah, you're right, man. Brisket's okay,
I'm
but not
glad
great.
somebody else said it.
Yeah, and I didn't even say that I don't like brisket or that it's not good. I was like, I don't prefer brisket. I think it's just average. And man, oh man,
That was the biggest.
Texas takes that crap serious.
That was the biggest single response area we've had.
Yeah, what would you guess our most listened to episode was about? Or sorry, most shared episode was about.
Wow, without going back, having it right in front of me, I would say the brisket one.
It was pizza.
No.
Yeah, the episode we did about pizza was the most frequently shared.
Really?
Yeah, you want to know what was crazy?
Interesting.
Okay, listen to this. And before I get into this, legitimately, what I'm about to say, thank you. Like, this means more to me than you could know. So we're hosted through Spotify, and if you use Spotify at the end of the year as a listener, it gives you your Wrapped, and it like shows you listen to this, and this was your, and it gives you all these stats. Well, they do it for podcasters as well, and I put off checking it for a long time because I was like, I just don't need that level of depression. But I want to say this surprised me for a young podcast, and we don't advertise, right? Other than through you guys,
Right.
We were in 20 people's top 10 podcasts,
Really?
and we were 8 people's #1 most listened to podcast.
We were 8 people's #1
Isn't that cool?
podcast.
Thank you guys. Like
That's-
I watched that and I was like, oh man.
You know what that made me think of was MySpace.
Oh yeah, we were in somebody's
We're in
top
somebody's
8.
top
Yeah,
8.
Thanks, man. Somebody go get MySpace Tom. Let him know.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Hey, that dude's just sitting around being rich somewhere. He got out at the perfect time, missed all the shenanigans.
Yep.
He just created the framework and was like, deuces.
And crushed it.
Yeah. Is there
Anyway.
anything when you think about the next 20, anything that you're like, I'm excited about, or I hope we?
I hope we do some cooking. Definitely want to do some cooking. There's some things I'm going to make this year that I'll video. You know, we don't have to do it as a
Same. We're
thing.
going to do some quicker hit, like 60 to 90 second. That's what I'm feeding my fat face videos.
Right. Well, this
But
won't be one of those either because I'm going to make a Wellington.
you can still do it like that.
Yeah, I mean, you'll have to.
You have to cut it down to 90 seconds, or there's nowhere that it goes.
Yeah,
So,
but you know, it's 62 hours of making a beef Wellington.
did you see the guy that made a hot dog Wellington and sent it to Gordon Ramsay?
Stop.
Did you see it?
Stop.
I'll
No.
send it to you. It was
No.
Gordon Ramsay was every bit as understanding of this gift as you expect him to be.
Good.
Yeah. Oh man. Anyway, let's talk. We thought, given the weather, we had the Arctic blast that didn't just hit San Antonio. It was really a whole bunch of the U.S. And so we thought we would talk a little bit about cold food.
Yeah.
How you feeling about that?
Well, you know, there is cold weather food and there is cold food.
Yeah, I thought we would talk cold weather food personally, but I'm willing to follow this conversation wherever.
I think there's room
wherever
for
it
both.
goes. Yeah, I think that's true.
Cold weather food, you know, like I said earlier, French onion soup is my go-to. It's my
So
favorite.
would you say in general soup that's like quintessential cold day, I need to warm, give me a
Yeah.
hearty bowl of soup. Okay, so I found something. I'm going to show it here on the screen, and then we'll post it on Instagram later this week. But
right.
so this was what they compiled. This is from Taste of Home. This is perfect soup and sandwich combinations. Tell me if you agree. So obviously it says
I'm going to guess on number 1. Are you starting at number 1 or are you starting at the
well,
bottom?
they don't rank them.
Oh, okay.
It's just to pick an infograph.
Well, the first one's got to be a grilled cheese of some kind and tomato soup.
Yeah, actually, the first two. The first one was chicken noodle soup with a basil, pesto, and melty cheese sandwich.
That sounds awesome.
Sounds delicious. I don't like chicken noodle soup, Kev. Am I getting as much trouble for that as brisket?
No,
I just
chicken noodle
genuinely
soup
don't
is-
like chicken noodle soup.
Yeah, it's
You guys
overrated.
love it, and I don't understand it. It's just not. But am I a hypocrite because I love chicken tortilla soup?
No,
Is that just my southern roots?
no. Chicken noodle soup has gotten bad.
Yeah, it's just not good.
I mean, you know, if grandma's making it, I'm in.
But even then, I didn't even like my grandma's.
Well,
I just don't need your chicken noodle soup. How did you feel about chicken and dumplings?
I love chicken and
Yeah,
dumplings.
I do like chicken and dumplings.
Mm.
Maybe I don't know, dude. I'm just weird.
All right, what's the next
Number
one?
2 is tomato soup with a grilled cheese sandwich. What would you guess they said was the best pairing for potato soup?
Potato soup? Oh, it's gonna be something on rye bread.
It doesn't. Okay, none of them specify breads,
Oh,
so just meat.
Oh.
What do you think meat?
then I'm gonna go with a meat that I don't like.
Because you don't like potato soup.
No, I love potato soup, but I'm guessing that it was paired poorly.
Let's find out.
I think it's gonna be. Oh man, what is the some kind of pastrami or?
A traditional ham and cheese.
Oh, then I'm in.
Yeah, because it'd be like bacony, right? Like bacon bits on your.
Just put bacon in the soup.
What about okay? So beef and vegetable soup. They said so with a peppers and melty cheese soup. So this next one, I never even heard of this kind of soup, but based on the sandwich they paired it with,
Okay, give me the sandwich.
the sandwich is a BLT.
Ooh, yeah.
Lasagna soup.
I didn't know that was an option. Lasagna is one of my like dishes. If I'm going to cook something, that's one of my go-tos.
Yeah, but I've never had lasagna soup.
No, but I want it now.
This one feels too easy. It's a matzo ball soup with a Reuben sandwich. To me, honestly, I'm like, okay, you're just pandering to the New York Jewish food scene.
Yeah, they watched Seinfeld too many times.
Correct. Okay, Nod, to you, what do you think they paired with French onion soup?
Ooh,
You're gonna be pleased.
God, I wouldn't even pair that with a sandwich though.
Steak and pepper sandwich, kind of like a cheesesteak.
Well, if you're gonna eat
If you're
something
gonna
with
eat
it,
something,
that
yeah.
works. But yeah, I've never done a sandwich with a French onion.
Yeah, I don't think it needs it.
You do
So
the
much
thick
cheese.
toast with the
Yep,
cheese and the.
yep. Yup.
You don't need a sandwich,
Don't
but
need a sandwich. I mean, but I'll eat a sandwich.
I'll eat a steak and cheese. You know, whatever.
Yeah. So potato is so French onion is your favorite.
Yeah.
Do you have a least favorite soup?
Well, outside French onion, tomato, and
Oh, you're gonna
potato.
say the red clam chowder?
Outside of those three, I'm really not interested.
Like the red clam chowder, like stop it, Manhattan. You
Yeah, it's
didn't
not
need an
good.
opinion on this. Like you're just being a contrarian.
Yeah,
We'll just take our New England clam chowder and you can stay home. Sit this one out.
yeah. I wouldn't have that.
I get bitter about New York trying
You
to hone
do.
in on the soup scene, man.
Well,
it's unnecessary.
It's just it's what New York's gonna do.
yeah.
Nobody cares.
It's very New Yorker of them, isn't it?
It is.
They're like, we're just gonna make this other thing, and it's not even really gonna be a chowder.
Yeah, but we're
It's gonna be like a tomato bisque with clams in it,
yeah. It's
and then
it's-
we're gonna act like you're an idiot for not liking it. You know what?
that's a New York thing.
I hate you guys. Man,
That's Aaron at Feed Your Fat Face.
yeah, all of you, Yankees fans, Mets fans, take your Manhattan clam chowder and get out of here.
Back before we were a podcast, when it was just the web page, or not even the web page, when it was just the
Instagram
Instagram
account.
account, I did grilled cheese a couple times, where I did pictures of all the things that were going into the grilled cheese.
You make an intense grilled cheese.
The mini cheeses, the mayo, the whole thing. How do you do a grilled cheese?
I typically just do one kind of cheese, but a lot of it. And here's where I catch flack. I do butter on the outside of my bread. I actually put mayonnaise on the inside of the bread before I grill it. My wife thinks that is disgusting. So do you want to know the truth about how much cheese I put on my grilled cheeses?
I absolutely do.
My wife, to this day, we've been married. We've been together 21 years, married for 20. She refuses to make me a grilled cheese sandwich because she thinks it's gross.
Interesting.
If I were to call her in here right now and go, babe, would you make me a grilled cheese sandwich?
She'd
She would
walk
say
back
no.
out.
She'd be like, no, it's disgusting. Yeah.
That's funny. I go overboard. I'll use multiple cheeses and a good amount of
I think
them.
our listeners find it hard to believe that you would go overboard on something, Kev.
Hi, I'm Kevin.
Yeah. The number of messages I've gotten of people asking, did he really eat 4 cheeseburgers?
Are you serious?
Yeah, I'm like, why would we lie about that?
Oh my goodness.
I wish that people.
I got a couple of messages that were just like, you didn't look like that bothered you.
The only thing I wish people could have seen was in the last clip, I got distracted because the little night manager
The
walked
guy
up,
came over, yeah.
and he was like floored. Like he's just out of the shot, just being like, wow, 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 right? Like he was just going on. It was. I wish I could have filmed that. That would have been great.
That's funny. I had no idea you were getting questions about. I was just getting what else could you have eaten?
It's been a while since we've talked about something. Again, we mentioned the brisket that potentially pissed off a lot of Texans. So let's venture into a discussion on chili, shall we?
Let's do it.
How spicy do you like your chili?
4 out of 5 peppers. Like I like it on the spicier
I like
side.
a spicy side. I have to make it lower than that because of my family.
Oh, understood. If I have to take a portion of the chili out and spice it up for what I'm going to eat.
What kind of meat do you like or do you use in your chili?
I'll use anything red.
You prefer it ground, cubed?
Ground.
Yeah. I tend to use beef and pork. Though this last time, it is beef, but this last time I had some chopped brisket.
Oh, nice.
Left over.
Yeah.
I made that, and that was the meat in it. Dude, I'm going to be honest. It was spectacular.
It would have to be.
Yeah, it was good.
That's a fantastic way to go.
Okay.
Although I've never heard of this specific type of brisket. What is it? What is leftover brisket?
Leftover brisket. It's brisket from when my wife eats it when I'm gone.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. Gotcha. Okay. Here's the big one. Are you ready?
Bring it.
Beans or no beans?
You mean stew or chili? Beans is stew.
What?
No beans is chili.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
That's ridiculous.
Beans is stew.
It's beef soup otherwise. Do you beans or no beans in your chili? So you're a strict no beans.
I'm a no beans.
If I
guy.
make a
You put
red
beans in it,
chili with all of the chili flavors, and it's like one bite, you're like, man, that is a good chili. The next bite, you bring up a pinto, you're like, I was wrong. It's stew.
yeah, this is a fantastic stew.
Stew has potatoes and carrots
And beans.
Well, if we're gonna go, if that's the deal, then what else? Technically, coffee is a stew. Am I right? If that's the metric, if the metric is, it's made with beans.
We're going with chili here.
Yeah, I know we are, but your premise is flawed, is my point.
No, it's not.
It is. Beans are perfectly welcome in a chili.
they're
They
not.
are.
They're the same as pineapple on pizza.
I'm going to be alone on this one, too. Dang it. No.
No, Brittany,
Beans fit.
My wife is completely on your side on this.
It just doesn't make sense.
And
Beans
for-
is a hearty protein.
However many years we've been having this
Well,
pointed argument.
Brittany, I'm with you on this one. Solidarity, sister.
We've been having this argument since
I'm not
the
ready
beginning.
to move on past the bean thing.
We don't have to move on.
Refried beans, is that a stew?
Just sit there and be wrong.
Refried beans, yes or no?
If you put them in your chili,
Baracho
then they're
beans,
no longer chili.
Are they a stew? Beans and cornbread, is that a stew on cornbread?
Yeah, kind of.
You're just being a whore. I should have. This is the problem in arguing with Kevin. Is there comes a point where it's not even about the argument anymore. He's just going to sit there and be belligerent. Anyway, I think beans go fine in chili. I don't think they should be the star of the show.
Beans go fine in the dish, but if you put beans in it, it is not chili anymore. It has become stew.
You're not right. You're not right. Almost afraid to ask this next one. The next, I think we're going to agree. Have you heard of a white chili?
I have.
What are your thoughts?
Actually, Brittany made one, a white chili, and it's not chili, but it's very good.
Brittany, I'm not with you on this one. No, it's not. Listen, if you're going to draw some sort of arbitrary but firm line in the sand that separates brother and pits family against family on beans or no beans, then I'm going to have to ask you to do the same on the color. Like white, this is New England versus Manhattan clam chowder all over again.
Not
It's a
chili,
soup.
but it's
Okay.
very good.
I'm listening to my.
I
with my-
just said that.
well, didn't say it clearly.
You were
enough.
just amped up for another
I was
fight.
just ready. This is what's happened. See, I'm breaking the microphone.
You are.
You did this. Oh, crap. I timed it the wrong way. It's all going downhill. Hurry.
Go stand over there and be wrong about your beans.
What about chicken chili? Again, it's not a chili.
It's not chili, but it's a great dish. It can be made really, really well.
If Brittany puts beans in her chicken chili, is it a chicken stew?
Yes. Or a chicken soup or a whatever.
I don't know, man. This all feels ridiculous to me, I'll be honest. We better.
I had no idea you were a bean guy.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. Good beans.
We
and
have
chili.
learned so much about what we think about food.
Yeah, that's the point of the podcast.
Very interesting.
That's what we're doing here.
Man.
That's the main thing.
So you said you have to tone down the spice for your family.
Yep.
I'm going to move on from the other things. If it's up to you, where's the spice level?
Well, my baseline, so I like spicy, dude. I like spicy, but there's a line for me. I don't think when people go, oh, this is really spicy, where spice equals physical pain without flavor, I'm not interested in that. Like, I don't want to get hurt. That's not what I'm after.
Right.
But if it's a good flavor, get as hot as you want. Like Thai chilies and curry,
Okay, yeah.
bring it on. My head can sweat. As long as it's a flavor enhancer, right?
Okay.
I just don't want to get punched in the mouth.
It's just not hot for the sake of hot.
Have you ever had something so hot that you eat it and then for the rest of the day you just can't taste anything?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's no good. It's no good.
So
I
that's
guess
counterproductive to my whole
Right.
life.
Yeah, right. Is it appropriate to talk about with spicy food to talk about my friend
Oh, absolutely. This is great advice.
Yeah, so we were one time we were out eating burgers. There's a group of like 5 or 6 guys from church, and I ordered a jalapeno cheeseburger, which I'm likely to do. That's one of my go-tos. And this particular jalapeno cheeseburger was hot. And so I made a statement about, man, this is going to be so hot. And then I said, because I'm a 12-year-old boy and I don't know lines, I said, I'm actually more concerned about the exit wound
Yep.
than the entrance. And this guy at the table who was probably 25 years my senior, 30 years my senior, and just a guy that I respected, he says, without breaking stride, like mid-bite, he goes, you need to eat some ice cream. And I went, what? And he went, yeah, man, foam the runway. And I was like, what are you talking about? And he was like, yeah, vanilla ice cream, dude. Just give it a. And, since that day, hat tip to my friend Paul Heinzman, who, man, comes in clutch.
Yeah. So, jalapeno burger.
I didn't. That's not in the notes, by the way. Foam the runway was not in the show notes.
It's nowhere in here. So, all right, I like a jalapeno burger, jalapeno cheese, jalapeno sausage, whatever. But I like the jalapeno cooked in.
Oh,
I prefer that to
like mixed in
to
the meat?
slices just thrown on.
I can see that. I don't know that I've ever had it that way, but I can see that.
Oh,
Like mixed into the meat,
when
you
I
mean?
make jalapeno burgers, I mix it into the meat.
Interesting.
A little bit of juice, jalapenos. Go
Yeah,
on with
I'm
it.
not. We should try that. I'm not against it.
Oh, I love them.
Yeah.
I haven't made those for you.
Negative.
Then
Usually when we're together and we eat at a house, we eat big. We do steaks or we go
Yeah,
over the
we do.
top. So,
we do. Shocking.
right.
Feed your fat facers, fatties.
Do you have other just other foods that on a cold day, like I know that you don't feel this emotion, but if you just came home, like you're just tired and kind of sad by a cold, gloomy day, are there other foods that your inner Kevin is just like, man, this would warm me up?
You know what? I like, in those times, I like to bake anything. Cinnamon rolls, cornbread, crescent rolls, whatever.
I made some cinnamon rolls the other day.
A
dude.
hot bread of any kind is awesome.
I'm not much of a baker, so
Or I'll do hot sandwiches. I like to do I do 2 kinds of grilled cheese. I do one that's like super heavy on the cheese. I also do mayonnaise on the sandwich and all those things. But I also do a grilled ham and cheese.
oh,
Where I'll do cheese, ham, so it all melts together as I'm cooking it and all of that. I actually toast the bread before I put it on the grill.
what's your thinking there?
Well,
This is not argumentative. This
no,
is
no.
fact finding.
because I put a lot of butter, and I put mayonnaise. So it's butter, bread, mayonnaise, and then fillings, mayonnaise, bread, butter. And so by toasting it ahead of time, I'm hoping to let it keep some structure.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah, the science checks out. So, I have two dishes when it's cold that so growing up, my dad made beef stroganoff.
Oh, okay.
So I kind of have a hankering for that when it gets cold.
Sure.
And it's kind of nostalgia. And then risotto. We make a lot of risotto here at the Powers house.
Yeah, you guys do.
Really tasty with like some Italian sausage in it. It's good stuff.
That's awesome.
Really good stuff.
Yeah, if I'm not going with bread or hot sandwiches, I would probably go with an Italian baked dish, a lasagna, something like that.
It's interesting how different people, you just have different things. I wonder what, I'd be curious to know what influenced that. What are some of your cold weather foods? I'd love to hear Facebook or YouTube comments. Just drop us a line. Let us know what are your go-tos when it's cold, or what is it that next time it's cold, what do we need to try? Like, what are we missing out on?
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah. You know what? Let's do some food news. You ready for that?
Let's do it.
Let's begin with, I have some sad news for you.
Oh no.
Yep. An icon of the gum world has experienced its final chew.
I heard
Fruit Stripe gum.
Fruit Stripe gum has finally. How did it last that long?
I was gonna be straight up and thought like the fact that this article wasn't dated 30 years ago is somewhat surprising to me.
Yeah, I mean they held on for.
I can't remember the last time I saw Fruit Stripe gum. It started in 1969. That's when it hit the scenes.
And it just went out of business.
Says the decision to sunset this product was not taken lightly, and we considered many factors before coming to this decision, including consumer preferences and purchasing patterns and overall brand trends for Fruit Stripe gum.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. So James Parker, you had a good run at it. Congratulations on 54 years of really average gum.
Below average gum.
Below average gum. This is probably going to be another hot take. How do you feel about juicy fruit? Worthless.
I mean,
worthless.
If it's the only gum you could have.
It has flavor for like 7 seconds.
Well, that's 5 more than Fruit Stripe had.
Listen, dude. You know how when somebody dies, everybody shows up at his funeral and they're like, he was a great guy.
Mm-hmm.
Can we please have some respect for the dead?
Oh, I didn't know we were supposed to pretend.
I actually think you're going to like this one.
Okay.
Starbucks is being sued for allegedly using coffee from farms with rights abuses while touting its ethical sourcing. So they take this moral high ground that we ethnically source our coffee beans, and a consumer advocacy group has launched this lawsuit for false advertising, alleging that it sources coffee and tea from farms with human rights and labor abuses, and that it knew it was doing so, thereby making its 100% ethical claim bogus. So here's the tension I see in your face.
Okay, here
I see you simultaneously really not liking Starbucks and all that they stand for, but also hating frivolous consumer lawsuits. And it's at war. I can see it in your eyes.
It is at war in me. Are you a Bucks guy?
I guess what are you asking? Like, do I think that they have delicious coffee? No. Do I?
You go there from time to time.
I go there from time to time. Okay. I don't. There's not a lot that I like. There's just not a lot that I boycott. It's going to take more than you
boycott it. I just don't think it's good.
The thing is, for me, is it's better. Like Dunkin', you need to just quit serving coffee. Your coffee is objectively terrible.
Yeah,
Dunkin' Donuts,
coffee is
get
bad.
out of the game.
But there's
but gas stations bad. Dutch Bros is too.
Dutch Brothers.
It's too sweet.
See, I like that one.
I don't like sweet. Like I want my coffee. So for me, no lie, when I go and if I order, let's say I'm going to get a vanilla latte at Starbucks, the way I order it is I need a grande vanilla latte, quad shot vanilla latte, so 4 shots of espresso, half sweet. Like I want strong, rich coffee. And so Starbucks is really the only place other than a small local establishment to get that.
No, I don't like Starbucks, but it's just because I don't like any of their products.
But you also hate frivolous.
And I do hate frivolous lawsuits. So one, as someone who goes to Starbucks, are you surprised at all?
That they're sourcing their beans from places that have child labor?
Yeah.
Not at all. I mean, I've been to Nairobi. I've been on a coffee plantation. I know how it works.
Yeah. So why is anyone surprised? Yeah. They're like, oh, the ones we know about.
Not only surprised, but this is a question that I again, apparently Aaron's just stirring the hornet's nest. I may take some flack from that, but this is a legitimate question, right? At least I think it's legitimate.
It's legitimate enough.
I've been to some places around the world. So I do a lot of work in Haiti.
Yeah.
So in Haiti, the unemployment rate's 86%.
Sure.
Those that do work, the average income is about $1.50 to $2 a day.
Okay.
If somebody came along and said, "Hey, if your kid will come pick coffee beans, we'll pay him an additional 50 cents a day." Is that really unethical? You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So what I'm saying is, like, we're taking, in a lot of these cases, it feels to me like we're taking like American union standards,
yeah.
and enforce them on a place where, like, I've been when I went to Kenya and I met with a guy who was working with. Now what he was trying to do is work with local coffee farmers to cut out the middleman, because that's where they get hammered.
Sure.
But the whole deal was they're actually making it possible for families to live by paying kids while dad goes in this particular region. Dad would go work in the ruby mines. The kids could pick coffee beans. Everybody wins. And so I think sometimes this is virtue signaling at its finest.
Oh, absolutely
we don't
it is.
actually know what we're talking about. Because I don't read. Now, here's where I will draw a line. If what this article is telling me is that Starbucks has slave children that they are whipping to pick the beans, then that's enough for me to boycott. I'm done. But if this is just, hey, a lot of little kids are out in the field picking these coffee beans for 50 cents a day. Bro,
You're right,
I've been
because that's how things work there.
and I've been to places where that's a good deal of money.
Yeah.
Does it break my heart? It absolutely breaks my heart. But what I will tell you is that boycotting Starbucks and making them stop it is not the answer to that problem.
Right.
Because all you're going to do is actually increase poverty there. Like this is a systemic problem that's much larger than who's picking my coffee beans.
Sure. And so the basis of the lawsuit is,
I got fired up there.
you did, and that's good, because you were completely right. The basis for the lawsuit is somebody's like, oh, I don't like that there's kids picking these
It's
beans.
false pretense, right?
Yeah, it's virtue signaling, like you
Yes.
said. It is fake outrage.
Yeah. And again, I do want to know if
And
this
it's
is
outrage based on ignorance.
right. If this is enslavement, I want to know
Sure.
that. If this is just, can you believe they're putting these kids? Honestly, I'm like, man, thank God for companies like Starbucks, because that kid is going to help put food on the table for his whole family.
Right.
Yeah. So
Anyway, that
and
one really
yeah, that
spun
one
into
went.
something.
I didn't see that one going that way.
Okay.
But there it went. It touched something deep in me.
It did.
I forget, right, that that both of my current roles are in food scarcity.
Right.
And so the weirdest things set me off
Yeah.
sometimes. But
And it's
anyway,
awesome.
here it is.
It's good to get to watch.
Yeah. So
What's
here's
the next one?
This is good. Well, it's good for me, except it's not actually doesn't impact me, and you won't care one way or the other. But
Let's throw this up here.
McDonald's is bringing back the double Big Mac after 4 years.
A double Big Mac?
4 patties.
Mm.
Kevin hates McDonald's
Yes. All right.
on all grounds. That's it. All you've got is.
That's 100% of my response.
Would you eat it?
No.
If I said, "Hey, let's do a show at McDonald's," you're not eating.
I'll bring something.
You're just watching me.
Yep.
You are. You really think it tastes horrible?
Yeah, I don't like McDonald's.
Yeah, I don't get it.
And that's cool.
I do. I've changed. Before I told you that it was just about the consistency and repeatability. I actually think they taste good.
Okay.
Not saying it's the best burger on the planet.
No, no, you've never said that. You've never tried to make that case, but
I don't like the Big Mac. I'm not a fan of mac sauce. I don't like Thousand Islands dressing.
oh yeah, no, that's
Even on my Reubens.
yeah. I'm not a big fan of Reubens anyway.
I like Reubens, but I'm going to want mayonnaise and or deli mustard.
Oh yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
Get enough mayonnaise and deli mustard, you can make a Reuben edible.
Yeah. Not a corned beef guy, huh?
No, definitely
Yeah.
not. You have another one?
That's all my news.
I have one. Quaker Oats just did a recall.
First in the table. Oh, actually, I know about this. Let's hear more about it.
Quaker Oats, well, I don't have a lot on it, recalled more products. So they apparently had a recall going on, and they've added products to the recall over salmonella.
Yeah, actually, I know this because I had to go pull a pallet off our
your
warehouse
floor.
shelf today.
Yeah.
Which is a drag for us. I think a lot of times people don't realize that, but that was gonna. That was gonna be a substantial part of boxes for like 900 families.
Ouch. That's a hit.
Yeah, we'll replace it, but still, it's a the dragon.
There's another one. Taco Bell has created a new
I
cinnamon
saw
twist
this too,
cereal
yeah.
in conjunction with Uber Eats.
I just don't know that I could. It's probably good. This is more psychosomatic for me, but I just don't know that I could eat a Taco Bell cereal.
That's what it is for me.
Yeah.
Because I love
If you
one
just
of my
told me
favorite
a cinnamon crunch cereal, I'd be like, dude.
one of my favorite cereals is Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Yeah.
And I love the Taco Bell cinnamon twists. I just don't want a Taco Bell cereal.
That's totally reasonable.
No, it's not.
No, it's reasonable to not want it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Oh, man. Well, let's tell them some things that are coming up. I think next week we're going to talk about.
I think we're going to dive in. I think we're going to do an episode about the differences of food in the U.S. versus other parts of the world.
It's going to shock you. When Kevin, I'll be honest, Kevin has been angling for this episode really from the beginning.
Yeah.
And I've been reluctant to go there because I was just like, ooh, this is, I don't, but the more I've dived in, I'm like, wow, it's stunning. And the only conclusion I can come to is that it's motivated. The motives are ugly.
Well, it's just money.
Yep.
It's just money.
Flat out.
And there's rabbit holes with this whole thing. I mean, we'll get into all of that. And then there's just kind of the surface. This is true. And however you want to connect it or not connect it, feel free. Let everybody do that on their own.
Episode 23 coming up. We're going to have the incomparable Chris Butler on the airwaves with us. Chris is going to talk beer. We're actually going to sample some beer that day. Chris is, in addition to being just an incredible guy and like a brother to me since the 8th grade, Chris is an expert in all things craft beer. He works in the industry. He's out of Northwest Arkansas, which actually has a really vibrant craft beer scene right now.
Right.
And so, but Chris is involved in collaborations and stuff kind of all over the country. So he's going to come and talk beer with us. He actually says he's going to help bring some clarity. Remember we talked last time about American beer consumption nosediving. Yeah. Chris said he's got some thoughts to help steer that conversation. So that'll be episode.
That'll be awesome.
23. So 3 episodes from now.
Okay.
So
excellent.
But yeah, until then, Kevin, I hope that you stay warm. You have any parting thoughts for our friends here?
Well, 1, stay away from McDonald's, but 2, keep your grills hot, your beer cold. We'll see you next time.
Go get yourself a double quarter pounder, friends.